Most phones are iterative upgrades, but the OnePlus 15 is a revolutionary one that sets a new record for battery life performance, more AI features, and a new chipset that ushers in a new era for mobile gaming with its 165Hz display. Getting all these in a flagship that's still under $900 is unbelievable. OnePlus doesn't want to wait until the upcoming new year to launch its flagship like in previous years. Instead, the company wants to see 2025 out with a bang before the year's over with the launch of the OnePlus 15. For the last two generations, OnePlus has managed to narrow the divide between its flagship model and all the best phones out there by undercutting its rivals on price. Both the Pixel 10 Pro XL and iPhone 17 Pro Max still cost over $1,000, so there is a huge opportunity here. The OnePlus 15 continues that philosophy, but more importantly, it feels like a completely different phone from everything else I have tested this year. That's because this Android phone doesn't just move the needle by a little, it shatters records. I've been testing out the OnePlus 15 for over a week now, and it really is the new phone to beat. Here is why. Despite all the traffic on imports, I am happy to see that we are getting another year of no price hikes with the latest OnePlus model. Just like its predecessor, the OnePlus 15 has a starting cost $1,899, but that's for only the Infinite Black color with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. The other two colors, Sandstorm and Ultraviolet, command a price $999 and come with 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. For the additional cost, I think they are the better value because they still beat all their competitors. Needless to say, I am happy about these prices, but OnePlus warns that the price is subject to change due to current market conditions, which could mean the cost increases down the line. Regardless, this price still beat the $1,000 plus prices of other flagship models. Even though it's launched overseas in China already, there is still no confirmed launch date for the OnePlus 15 in the US. The OnePlus 15 is a completely different looking phone, flaunting more iPhone aesthetics than ever before. Gone is the circular camera hump on the back that made it distinctly a OnePlus. That's dished for a square housing that looks awfully like the iPhone 16 Pro Max before Apple stretched it out with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Likewise, it borrows the same flat edge design and rounded corners found on the iPhone. While it does seem like a direct copy, I really do like the minimalism that OnePlus is going after. With my Sandstorm colorway, it's proven to be way more resistant to scratching because of how it uses micro arc oxidation technology on the frame to create a ceramic grade coating over the metal surface. All of this makes it look smooth, almost matte-like to the touch. At the same time, it's pretty manageable to hold in the hand, being shorter and narrower than the iPhone 17 Pro Max while keeping the scales at 7.44 ounces. I have dropped it several times onto carpeted flooring and even threw it into my backpack against other phones, but I have yet to see any major blemishes around the back and its Gorilla Glass Victus 2 front. Also a fast phone, the OnePlus 15 sets a standard for smartphone durability with its IP66, IP68, IP69 and IP69K ratings. The latter two ensures protection from high pressure water jets at temperatures up to 176 degrees Fahrenheit. OnePlus has made great strides the last couple of generations around its camera performance, and the OnePlus 15 is no exception. This year's arrangement consists of a 50 megapixel main shooter, 50 megapixel ultra-wide, and a 50 megapixel telephoto with 3.5x optical zoom. There is a 32 megapixel selfie camera around the front that finishes the package. This all might look familiar as the OnePlus 13 also features a 50 megapixel triple camera system, but there are differences. For example, the main camera now uses a Sony IMX906 sensor, while the telephoto uses a JN5 sensor in a WS-style periscope design. Paired with OnePlus Detail Max engine that effectively enhances the performance of the cameras, it gives many of the best camera phones a good run for their money. Besides the hardware, there is a lot I love about the camera app. Not only does it have all the shooting modes I crave as an enthusiast, like dual view video for side by side simultaneously, video recording using two cameras and a pro video mode, but there is also the ability to shoot 8K video and 4K 120 FPS natively. Here are some camera samples of the new OnePlus 15. Despite being one of the last major phone releases of the year, the OnePlus 15 has the distinction of being the first to showcase the power of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chipset. Not surprisingly, synthetic benchmark tests prove its beast with Geekbench 6 single and multi-core scores of 3618 and 1100 and 116 respectively. Those scores easily eclipse the phones powered by Qualcomm's previous 8 Elite like the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S25 Ultra, and while the iPhone 17 Pro Max's A19 Pro chip delivers a better single-core score, the OnePlus 15 sets itself apart from the entire pack with its multi-core score. Meanwhile, its GPU performance equally deserves recognition because it trounces the iPhone 17 Pro Max and Galaxy S25 Ultra. In 3D Mark's Wildlife Unlimited test, it manages to sustain an average frame rate of 173.83 FPS, which is still way smoother than its closest rivals. Like I said earlier, there are some games that supports its 165Hz refresh rate. The difference is immediate as games like PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile look incredibly fluid, which combined with its 360 cryo velocity cooling system sustains peak gaming performance while remaining cool. That sense of responsiveness is seen in everything I do with the phone, from scrolling through the interface to running multiple apps simultaneously. It never lets up with its performance. I'm also astounded by its responsiveness even after I have set the screen resolution and refresh rate to their highest setting. This is without question the most satisfying part of the OnePlus 15 because it is the only flagship phone I have used that lasts me more than 2 days. US consumers are in for a treat because it is the first major release stateside to come with a silicon carbon battery. Quite frankly, it reshapes how I think about phones going forward. That's because there is a dense 7300 mAh battery cell that uses advanced silicon nanostack technology to cram in more energy without making the battery any larger. As a result, it's not any thicker or heavier than any other flagship, while also setting a new record for battery life. Our battery drain test results in a time of 25 hours and 13 minutes, which propels it to the top of our list with the best phone battery life. It smokes everything before it, including the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I still should point out that the OnePlus 13 reached a time of 19 hours and 45 minutes, but that was on an older version of the test. If it were to run the new one, I suspect it would get a similar time as the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Regardless of that, what matters more to me is how much battery life I can get with my day-to-day use. I was already blown away when it got down to 68% after my first day of using it, but I was in for a shock when it was at 24% by the second full day. All told, the battery lasted me a whopping 2 days, 11 hours and 5 minutes when it was at 2% capacity. This isn't just a record, it ushers in a new age for smartphones. Not to be outdone, the OnePlus 15 also features 80-watt SuperVOOC wired charging, which got it to 45% with 15 minutes of charging and then to 81% in 30 minutes. In my own testing, I saw its wired charging peak at 65 watt with the included SuperVOOC charger. However, it can still charge faster when using the optional OnePlus SuperVOOC 100-watt CAN charger. Finally, it also continues to set itself apart with its 50-watt AirVOOC wireless charging speed. When the OnePlus 13 launched, it felt underwhelming largely because of the lack of AI features. In a time when its rivals are proving how advantageous they are, OnePlus missed this opportunity, but it redeems itself here with Oxygen OS 16. There are some new aesthetic changes to the interface which runs on top of Android 16. From a productivity standpoint, it rivals Samsung's One UI because of how it executes multitasking. It is all done with the help of the Smart Sidebar, a hidden tab overlaid on top of the interface that's a repository for quick access to apps. In fact, it operates much like Open Canvas that I love with the OnePlus Open, whereby it dynamically changes the layout when two apps are running on top of one another. Other Oxygen OS staple features continue to make an appearances in this latest version, like the shelf, along with more personalization options to the home and lock screens. Really, it's a good upgrade in terms of the visuals, but I still like Apple's approach with liquid glass. However, the biggest boost to Oxygen OS 16 are all the new OnePlus AI features that make the experience even more satisfying. Compared to last year's offering, it is a night and day difference. OnePlus has its own versions of many AI features I find in other phones, like an AI writer tool that gives me options to convert my writing so that it's social media friendly, as well as an AI recorder app that transcribes voice recordings and summarizes them. But it goes beyond that with even more tools for photo editing. For example, I have used its version of Google's Magic Eraser called AI Eraser, which accurately removes people from a shot with ease. It functions much like Apple's photo cleanup, but the results are way better. Another Google AI feature that the OnePlus 15 copies is the ability to create new faces in group shots so they are smiling, called AI Perfect Shot, which works incredibly well. It analyzes the photo for faces and then produces a number of options I can choose from with convincing results. As a matter of fact, there is also AI Portrait Glow, which I haven't seen before in other phones. Basically, it helps boost the lighting conditions so that it corrects areas that are underexposed or overexposed. I think of it more as an HDR auto correction because I was able to boost the exposure of my face to better stand out from the background. If you are still not convinced by its AI, then check out the before and after results. With the AI unblur feature I applied to the one out of focus shot of the flat 500E above, it was clearly blurred with the original, but one quick tap puts it all into focus. And finally, there is OnePlus version of Pixel Screenshot called Plus Mind, which can recall information after storing screen grabs via a press of the dedicated plus key on the left side of the phone. While it doesn't technically save a screenshot, it's basically doing that, which I can even revisit in the Mindspace app. It's great for remembering event times, locations, and other important information I want to recall later, but my issue is that this requires proactive participation on my part. I would love this feature more if it could do it all on its own without me having to always tell it to remind us these details. Beyond that, the OnePlus 15 carries many of my favorite Google AI features like multi-modal Gemini Live and Circle to Search, and now that the Google Photos app has access to Ask Photos feature, it really has a lot of stuff I use with the Pixel phones. OnePlus pledges 4 years of Android updates and 6 years of security updates, the former's a little short compared to the 7 years Samsung and Google offer with their flagships, so I wish it were longer for the OnePlus 15. In years past, OnePlus flagship has always finished behind Apple, Samsung and Google, but that changes in a big way with the OnePlus 15. It's not just an iterative update, it's a substantial one that's more satisfying than anything else it's released. One thing's for sure, its new battery tech proves that phones can last longer than just a single day. Considering how we have all become complacent with 1 day battery life, it's unbelievable that I can get more than 2 days out of a phone again, which is something I haven't seen since the old flip phone days of the early 2000s. But of course, it all falls back on the never settle philosophy. The OnePlus certainly continues that here. Not only does it undercut its rivals on price, which I hope it remains at $899 US, but it's backed with a new software experience complete with AI features that boost the experience. I just can't believe that the best phone to come out this year waited until now to be released, but it's worth the wait.